All righty. We are here, kids. Oh my God, where's the camera? Where's the camera? What are we doing? Camera two, camera three, camera four, tight on four, five, tight on five. Oh, like it's a real production. Like it's a real production, Frank. You know how that goes. Hi, I'm James Lott Jr. It's the GH Smith Spotlight here on JLJ Media. I almost said AfterBuzz TV. Where did that come from? This JLJ Media, kids. And it's my #1 show on my whole network. It's all because of Frank.
Just longing for those days of, sitting in that Fortress of Solitude set, talking about soaps.
As Studio 4 did like the Fortress of Solitude. It sure did, didn't it? Please. Fine. Even I get that reference. Yes. But we're here on JLJ Media, your source of 35 shows or more of all kinds of goodness. We're here today. Lucretia couldn't make it. We send our best to her. She's alive and well. Nothing happened to her. She's fine. I wasn't something like, she's not here. Oh my God, I'm sorry. She's alive. She's okay. She's just white drinking somewhere. Chat room is up. Hello, Lori. Come on in. The water's fine. I'm trying to. Okay, let's see. Somebody finally answered. I sent out 4 emails to this person. I cancel a thing, and they finally answer back to me today. I'm like, you haven't said nothing to me in 4 emails. Okay. So anyway, I just saw that just now. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. This is life in the big city. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. We're going to talk about General Hospital. But first, of course, when we talk General Hospital, it's about the Emmys. So yesterday, myself, Lucretia Lyon, Jerry Waggett, and Walker Ragsdale talked about the Emmys. It's called the Daytime Emmy Special. It is out now, audio or video. If you want it in your ear holes, go ahead and listen to us there, or look at your eye holes. We're there. So check it out. We're shady. We're fun. We're disappointed. Whatever. We talk about everything on the show, and that's out now. Also, it's earlier today. We just basically laughed our way through Y&R Mini Spotlight. Me, Tammy Govea, and Amanda Russ. That's out now. And we had a lot to say about This Week in Bold and the Beautiful. And that was me, Tammy Govea, and Amanda Russ again. Those are all out. And over on Dish and Days, my chocolate twin, Tony Moore and company, they're all dressed up. They're giving away the Dish and Days Awards. And so right now they're recapping the episode. After that, they're going to give away the awards. And some famous people may be stopping through to accept their awards. So check them out on their channel, Dish and Days. They always support us. We support them. It's all Soap Sunday.
I assume you're going over there to accept an award.
No, I said best ex-host, and they said no. It says Mark J. Freeman. It's an inside joke for me and Frank. They said it's an inside joke for me and Frank. They said Mark J. Freeman, Lorraine Love, not James Lott Jr. So, no. But they're doing it right now, so they're having a good time over there. So, and I just bought Edition Days t-shirt, which I'll be showing soon when I get it.
Oh, nice.
They have merch now. They have merch now, Frank. So I got to think about merch for us too, probably.
Oh man, I mean, I feel it's you in a doctor's coat with the
stethoscope.
That's right, and a stethoscope, maybe putting it up.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, will be happening, but who knows? We have some merch. Who knows? Let's see what happens. I do want to mention, I mentioned the Emmys. Also want to mention, I'm dedicating this show to 2 friends of mine who actually killed themselves this week. Both were gay men in their 30s and 40s. And today is Gay Pride Day for many parts of the world. They're having lots of celebrations and pride parades. And people always wonder why they have this. It's for reasons like this. So I dedicate all these shows today to them, because they felt they didn't have a place in the world. So there's a place for everybody. And here at JLJ Media, we support the LGBTQIA+ community. And my behind the scenes, in front of the camera, the interviews that I do, the people I have on my shows, everyone has a place in this world. And if you have any problems, you should go to trevorproject.org. I do stuff for Trevor Project. But I'm very sad to hear about both of their passings. And it's not the way things should be. Right, Frank? Okay. And the Emmys. So General Hospital was a big winner with the best show and best directing. Hello to Fido Xavier, our friend. But they didn't get best writing, which was weird. Everybody thought that was weird. Went to Y&R. That was weird. Max Gale got best supporting actor. Maurice Bernard got best actor for the Alzheimer's storyline. There's one more, and Mark Teschner, our buddy, got again best casting. So it was a big time for them over at General Hospital. They did it from last year, and last year was a abbreviated year too because of the whole COVID thing.
Very true. Were you pleased with the GH results?
One person I thought should have won was Jeannie Francis. I was very sad that Jeannie Francis did not take home that lead actress. I thought everybody was good in the category. I mean, it went to Jacqueline McInnes Wood for Bold and Beautiful when I watched that storyline, so it was good. But I think Jeannie Francis has a chance next year.
Yeah.
I wanted James Patrick Stewart to win. I feel like every scene he's in, he elevates it because some of the storylines were tired, but he elevates it. But I think again, if he submits Peter stuff, it could be next year. Jeff Korber could have won. I was happy if he would have won. But I think again, it's going to be next. I think Steve Show's going to be next year. I think.
True. I feel like once it got more meaty with the Laura Cyrus relationship, like both of them got really good stuff.
Yes, I think so. I think this was going to happen. But Jeannie Francis, I was kind of just. It's the 40th year of the wedding. She's been on 45 years. Like I'm just thinking, she's been front and center recently, and I just thought, but I feel like they possibly canceled themselves out because there's also Finola Hughes and Anthony Grant. They were all nominated against each other.
True.
So maybe just canceled out and they went somewhere else. And I wanted Sydney Michaela to win for Trina. But it went to Victoria Konefal, which I like on Days of Our Lives, but I feel like Trina's a very natural actress. So I thought, and William Lipton was not nominated, but he may get it again next year. And I feel like we kept sitting on the show that, okay, I kind of see why they didn't, because we had a chance to finally see what they submitted. They showed you pieces of what they submitted, because we didn't know. So they actually showed us like, oh, okay, it was the suffragette storyline. It was the Alexis intervention episode. It was a bunch of those. That's what they submitted. And for Jeannie Francis, it was the scene when she goes off on Nicholas, which was a good scene. It was a good scene where she finally just unleashes on him for doing it for his son. So that was like, oh, that's what they submit. Because they used to submit the reels for us to watch. They stopped doing that last couple of years. They stopped doing that.
Oh wow!
I don't know why. You may find a few later on YouTube somewhere, but they didn't show it to us. They did say Nancy Lee Grant's name wrong. They had a couple of technical difficulties, but watch our show. That show will tell you what on behind the scenes because Walker Ragsdale was there, so he told us what had happened.
Wow.
But they did make a mistake with the wrong Black person who died. They did a couple of things that did. It was kind of wrong. Jeannie has won an Emmy for supporting actress, and that was the only one she's won.
There was an article recently where we're talking about how she's really appreciated this recent run on GH just for having the opportunity to kind of make Laura her own, be able to stand on her own 2 feet as a character, not just be part of Luke and Laura kind of deal. And I agree.
I agree too. I think it's one of those things that folks in the chat probably agree with this. When they did a whole thing called milestones throughout the show. And one of the first milestone, of course, is the 40th anniversary of Luke and Laura's wedding. And I was there. I watched the wedding live. And I was thinking, why am I old enough to remember that? That was 40 years ago. Like, it was crazy. But I mean, literally, I was sitting there after school. And we all watched it. And I was thinking, Laura now is Laura. I mean, she'll always be tied to Luke. I mean, that whole situation will always be tied. But I feel like now she's Laura Collins. Like, she really is Laura Collins. And I think they've done an admirable job these last couple of years to really establish that she is her own person. If Luke Neri came back, I wouldn't be upset. You know what I mean? I think she's fine, right?
And even if he does come back, it's great to just see them in a scene together for sure. I'd want to see that. But I feel like the ship has sailed on any kind of Luke and Laura kind of relationship, which I'm glad for. And it's not like I feel like these are 2 characters that now can stand completely on their own.
Yeah, I agree. So
for the longest time, because I think it helped a lot tremendously with Luke when Jeannie was off canvas for a while and Laura was in Paris or wherever she is in a sanitarium for a while. Luke getting together with Tracy. I mean, you never thought that like, oh, it's Luke and Laura. It's how do you go on from that? But I thought Luke and Tracy was such a great combination and pairing that it really it made you not really miss having Laura there. And so it kind of showed you that these characters can move on from such an iconic coupling.
Yeah, that's very true. Luke and Tracy I loved so much, and who knew we'd accept that? Like, who knew that these two
Sure.
iconic characters on their own, it actually worked. Sometimes it doesn't work. So the wedding wasn't. That's what I said. It's 40 years old. The wedding was 81. So it was 2021. Everybody do the math. Yeah. So it was. I was 12 years old also, because I'm 52. But it's so good to see DC Soap Sanctuary. Hi, DC Soap Sanctuary. True, because in the past it felt Laura could do it. Yeah, exactly. So now she's on her own. She got her man. Her and John Lipson are great together, and she has her own thing. So I think it was really cool. But the Emmys were admirable. They tried to really work it out, and it missed. It wasn't exciting. It missed something. There was stuff that was missed, but it was fine.
I feel like hopefully next year for all award shows, once things kind of move towards a sense of normalcy, maybe
do you think the Pride Time Emmys, because now it's getting stressed enough, do you think they'll be in person this year? That's in September, October. I wonder if they'll be in person.
I mean, I probably wouldn't be surprised if they would be.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Everybody talks about like this Delta variant, so I don't know how worried.
Yeah, no. Like, we can't win for lose, folks. Can't win for lose. Okay, we'll start.
Only 4 days this week, James. We were short
4 days. They gave us the suffragette story, which, folks, if you don't know this, that was one of the episodes they submitted at the Emmys. Was the suffragette episode. An episode that I like. I didn't watch it again because I already saw it once, but I mean, I like it. It's a good episode, fun episode.
Yeah, there are worse standalone episodes that GH has done for sure.
Yep. Yes, that is true, Frank Moran. There are some that are not as good as that one. Yes, you're right. Yes. I'm starting off this episode with the talking stuffed bear.
Man.
I had to laugh.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. The bear's talking in the voice. I'm like, the bear. Okay.
Yeah, I really need this storyline again to start moving on. Let's get to it. Yeah, I've enjoyed Nicholas and Ava so much. There were so many obstacles getting them together, unnecessary complications, and they've been so great together. Every couple needs to be tested for sure. Yeah, so, this seems like, if you're going to kind of test that relationship, the best way to do it, not having it come from internally, but externally. And Ava's reasonings, I thought made complete sense, in terms of, the loss of Kiki and how that colors everything that she's doing now, especially with Avery.
It did make sense, actually. When she brought up Kiki, I was like, oh my God, they're bringing up Kiki. It totally makes sense. But hearing John Lindstrom's voice, because it's coming out of his bear, is kind of funny. I like it. He makes me. I like him. I'm like, okay, girl. I was like, okay. Very inventive way to scare them. I guess I give them that much. Yeah, we need to find out who's behind it now. Well, now they split them up, and split them up. I'm saying quotes, split them up, and Avery's back with Carly. Now I know who it is. You give us it goes, we know that Carly's bartender is a stalker, but he's working for somebody else. Yeah, the bartender had a little
interesting that it doesn't seem like it should be too hard to figure out the bartender, because the thing is, they're looking at checking key card access. They'll realize they can timestamp it. They realize, it was Ava's card, and she goes, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't in the room at that time. I was there. Where could I have lost my card? Oh, wait a minute. The bartender handed it to me at the Metro Court. Hold on. So it shouldn't be that hard to piece it together. I hope that's what happens.
Yeah, I do. So it's yeah. So that was literally their piece this week, that they're basically splitting up for a moment. I still say in quotes, they still love each other and everything, but she's trying to figure this out. I think Ava's going to take matters in her own hands. That's what she's trying to do, which tracks. That's what Ava does.
Yeah,
it was like, she's take charge. But everybody in the chat was still going, it's Spencer, which we all kind of sit on here too. Spencer's a major possibility. Spencer has no use for Avery. He has no Avery. Not really.
No, it's true, but
they're cousins, but Maybe he's evil. Like I said, maybe he went to the full dark, maybe he's full on Cassadine dark side, where there's collateral damage.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel like I need a little bit of justification from Spencer as to why. I mean, certainly angry that Nicholas hid his death, but I also felt like they kind of worked through that to the extent of, hey, don't marry Ava and it's all good. And he went and married Ava anyway. So I mean, is that all it took to spin Nicholas off into trying to, hatch some kind of cruel revenge breakup scheme?
Frank, the fans want to know from you.
Oh boy.
Do you have a ponytail like Jeff Korber?
Oh my gosh, no, I don't.
He does it, folks. It looks like a ponytail to you guys.
Pop of hair, but nothing going on in the
Hey,
back.
nothing back there.
No, just got that long floppy stuff on top. There you go, guys.
I love it. The bangs, I love it, Frank. I do. I love it.
So there you are.
No ponytail, folks.
No ponytail. I'm feeling cool. I'm nowhere near as cool
Jeff Korber.
As Jeff Corbin to be able to rock a ponytail.
That's hilarious.
No man bun in my future.
They wanted to know that. It's so funny. Ava betrayed him. He never forgave her.
Yeah.
We're all trying to reach for something. So I mean,
true. Yeah, but I also feel like, doesn't this seem like a way, like in terms of retaliation or a payback, seems like a way higher. I don't know. If Nicholas was still dead, certainly I could understand that.
Yeah.
But with Nicholas alive, it seems like a really harsh step back, a payback. So
it does seem like it should be someone bigger, like a Jerry Jackson, even though he has nothing against him, but like somebody bigger. I feel like what you're saying. It should be somebody, because it's not Ryan. I mean, Ryan, yeah, he's trying to move his fingers or whatever, but I don't think it's Ryan. I think it's someone. I think it's a copycat.
Yeah.
I think it's somebody who has a grudge. They both have enemies. They both have tons of enemies. I mean, it's not like it's far-fetched. We just got to figure out who it is. It'd be great with somebody we didn't expect that comes back or something. I mean, it'd be really kind of fun to see somebody. I don't know. I mean, I know Helena's dead, but it'd be fun if it was Helena.
Oh gosh, I would love it if it was Helena for sure. Let's get sick and twisted, man.
I know. Now, some folks mentioned Hayden. We mentioned that before. Some folks said Hayden.
Man,
does she miss her daughter? Does she want to see Violet? I don't know.
Yeah, I would think seeing her daughter would be more important to her than paying back Nicholas.
Right.
At this point, I would think, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. So that's go ahead.
Because Hayden does know that it's everything is clear. You can come back.
Yeah, I hope she knows.
I mean, I would think that if I was on the run from somewhere that I couldn't go back to, I would still at least keep tabs on the temperature of where I left to see, like, okay, is it done yet?
Right.
So she can't be operating in a void, I would think.
Well, you got Homeboy. This storyline was a reach anyway for me, but it's fine. Sean's library privileges have been revoked.
Go for it. The brittle bones? We got brittle bones.
Oh, we click. I was like, oh, they made a noise. They made a noise. Okay. I'm like, okay, made a noise. Well, it's leading into this racial storyline, I guess, that she's basically biased against Black and brown people. And so Sean's getting railroad because, again, you mentioned Hayden. He didn't shoot Hayden. Now that's all out now. Everybody's alive. So it's like, why can't he get out? And then all of a sudden getting shut down. You can't be in here anymore. And her brittle bones and Molly and TJ and the judge Carson. I'll help you with whatever you need. Where did that go? I'm like Molly. Where did that come from?
I know.
That was kind of weird. There's a whole creepy thing going on there too. I had to give me a sandwich, some coffee, or whatever. But if you need anything about law and blah blah, just come to me. I'm like,
the scene escalated so quickly and did a 180 so fast in that library. I was just like, oh, everything's fine. This is cool. It's a way to have these two characters together. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're done, Sean. You're done.
Right. Okay.
And then just like all of a sudden for it to be like, okay, everything's kind of chill for Alexis right now. Then that the one guy go like, you just assaulted. You started this. Enjoy solitary. I'm like, what? Boy, this and even have the female guard who's been around go like, let's move it, Davis. Let's move it. Wow.
Yeah, it's yes. Yeah, Judge Carson. So I guess she's a new villain, I guess. We're gonna take her down, I guess. Everybody's like, I guess she's a new villain. I guess so we got Judge Carson here now doing her thing. My thing, and Frank and I have talked about this for years. Now it's been literally years now, because I think we talked about this when you were at AfterBuzz. The whole TJ Molly thing. Now are we actually gonna give them a storyline? I'm just like, they're here, Frank. They're here this week. I don't know what's going on. I mean, then they're gone. I don't know what's going on.
A personal low point of this week and of GH and ever was Molly and TJ celebrating their 5-month anniversary with mugs with their pictures on them. That was awful.
I didn't know what to say, Frank. I literally sat there going, "This is what I'm watching right now on television." Like I didn't even know what to do with that.
How often do you celebrate like a 5-month anniversary? A 5-month, it's like it's celebrating like it's our 2-year and 1-month anniversary. Let's celebrate that.
Right?
Like what? Who celebrates that?
Oh, I know. I was like, oh my god. And again, I don't care about you two because you're never on. So your whole courtship and relationship has been mostly off camera. As I'm saying, I mean, and Frank and I have told this for years. I'm like, it's mostly been off camera. So I'm supposed to care all of a sudden. Now, if they decide to really make them a story and have them on, I'm good. Because even when they had that whole little exchange with Brando and Sasha,
oh,
that was awkward and weird.
Yes.
I was like, okay, because first of all, they never followed through with all that stuff. They never really, because remember TJ and Brando was kind of budding bromance, friendship. They dropped that. You never see them. They never cross paths ever. I mean, it's just like, okay. And Brando's like, I'm having a baby. And he's like, you're a little too excited to tell them that. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's just like, I don't care. It just didn't. I said TJ still puts on with Brando for his friend Molly. He is. He said he's still like disturbed by it. Really? You never see each other. And Brando is related to Molly through marriage or family. He's part of the family, of her family. So he's going to see her. He's going to see him at stuff. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's like you can be mad at the situation that the two of them slept together, but you really can't be mad at Brando. He didn't know. He just was doing his thing based on what Molly was doing.
He was doing his thing all right, Frank.
That's right.
He was doing Molly. That's what he was doing.
But I really want to like Brando and Sasha.
You still don't like them? I like them. You don't like them?
I do, and I want to like them more, but I can't have awkward scenes like that Molly and TJ scene. That did not do like Brando any favors.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I'm like, yeah, we need to kind of just not have that happen again.
I don't know if Gladys. I mean, sure, a natural obstacle to put between Brando and Sasha, and I know Lucretia loves Gladys. A little of her goes a long way with me, so I'm hoping that she's not going to be sticking around for much longer.
I kind of like that. It don't bother me so much. I do. But what I do think is interesting, of course, we'll get there. Trina's having a grad party at Curtis's club. She's barely 18. Why is she having a party at a club?
Well, I mean, I guess it hasn't opened yet. So in that respect, it's like, hey, this is I mean, from a bar owner's perspective, like, hey, it's a good way to kind of do a little workshopping on this, a little pre-opening kind of run through to make sure everything's running smooth.
I guess we had Taggart. Everybody's with you, Frank. They don't like drumming. No, I'm glad it's either. Taggart comes by, and at first he had a little tune. It seemed like,
yeah,
but then he changed his tune.
I mean, I understand. Like we've talked about how he was kind of sidelined during the
Yeah,
whole
we did
Cyrus
that.
Home invasion, so I can understand why he was like, "You got to be the hero. Everybody's loving you." You know, I just had to be almost handcuffed to a police car.
Yes. Yes. I was like, you're right there, Taggart. I mean, they did like, but he did thank him. I think this is all being led to that Trina is Curtis's. I think that's the whole. I think this is all being led to, and the little foursome that's kind of happening because I'm liking actually Jordan and Portia's friendship, their budding friendship. I actually like it.
Yeah,
But you have Curtis and Taggart and even Sean still out there somewhere. I mean, it's a whole thing going on there. So I think it'll make it very messy. I think it'll be very messy. I think.
the sooner that we can get Sean out of prison and working out in Port Charles, trying to track down who really killed Hayden, I'll be much more excited. Like him, Nicholas being able to kind of pull strings and keep him in Pentonville only goes for so long for me. You know, I really need to see him out and about, being a part of the canvas and making things happen. I feel like that's a better storyline for Nicholas too. If
Yeah.
somebody's on the outside kind of working on him, not when it's so easy for him to kind of like, I can just keep getting him, his library privileges revoked and keep him out of my business.
No, folks, I do get the whole alcohol. It would be non-alcohol because she's underage, she's under 21. I get that part. I'm just like non-alcohol. I mean, it's just at a club. It's not 18. Have it at the house. Well, I guess I can't have it at the house. It was a crime scene. So I guess I can't do that. Never mind. You're right. We had the part. We had a club. Sorry, we had a club.
I mean, we also have Jason come by too and just say, "Hey, you ever need a favor? If you need anything out, just let me know."
He did. Well, him and Taggart had their own Jason, Taggart, Jason, and they popped up, and then Taggart left. And then Jason thanked him. They were friends. Jason and I would tell you guys know each other. Yeah, they know each other. You weren't around, Taggart. There's a lot of things that went on. You know what's going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, pretty much everybody knows each other. Everybody has each other's phone numbers. Everybody has each other's headshots on their phones for their contacts.
Yes.
So, great.
Mm-hmm. Also, Jason had a lot of visits too. Jason and Liz had their moments after Jason and Cameron had their moments. Did you think Cameron should have apologized to Jason?
I mean, certainly how hard he went at him when he was in the hospital, for sure. I feel like, yeah. I mean, that's worth, I think that's definitely worth an apology. I mean, I feel like it says a lot for Cameron that he went up there and he owned up to what he had said and said, like, I was completely wrong and I said horrible things. And I held a gun on you. So
Sure did. That was oh, I'm sorry, a side note, I have to remember when Portia and Jordan, all that stuff's going on, she got a text from Stella, you and Curtis. I was texting. I was like, okay, Stella, I'm gonna try to add her little 2 cents. You and Curtis. Mm-hmm. That was kind of funny. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. He's growing up. So a little something there. So that's kind of good. There's that, and then he went to Liz, talked to her. And I know Liaison fans were happy. They had a moment together. And then it was funny because they're like, and Finn's like, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? And they both know how to not say nothing. They're just kind of like, we're good, everything's fine. They're just like, just remember, if you need anything, I'm here. They said, take care of yourself. She goes, yeah, she says, take care of yourself. He goes, you too. He knows something's up. Jason ain't dumb. He knows something's up.
Oh no, I mean when Liz said like you don't have to worry about Peter anymore, he's like, all right, I know
anymore.
Which I mean, I understand why I guess that scene happens with Finn interrupting and her and with Liz and Finn kind of being awkward for a moment. I don't know why Liz just doesn't just say, Finn, let's just tell Jason. My gosh, he knows how to do this better than anybody.
Exactly.
So let's have him help.
He's discreet. He won't say anything. So I was wishing she was going to tell him, but she didn't.
I mean, I feel like he knows enough now to know something happened, but he doesn't know any specifics.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what's going on.
All right. What are the odds that they go back? Because there's got to be a scene coming up soon, which I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. That once Chase is, on the road to recovery, they aren't immediately going down there trying to figure out what they're going to do with his body. And what are the odds are when they open up that fridge, the body is gone?
Oh, I mean, easily. Oh, yeah. It's a soap trope. It's going to happen. Exactly. I heard through the reveal that he is going to be dead for good at some point. But, of course, they have to have one last hurrah That's what I've
Yes.
heard. Okay. Did someone say Hayden was dead? I know we didn't say. I know she's not dead, but did somebody in the chat room? Because Kelly keeps saying she's not dead. She's not dead. She's like, is somebody dead? We never said she. I know we never said she was dead. As I said, we said she can come back. She wasn't shot. She was shot, but it wasn't Sean who shot. That's what saying. She can come back. So if someone's in the chat room saying she's dead, then right, she's not dead. Okay, I saw like 4 times. Like, what's going on here? No, she's not dead. We know she's not dead. So that's good.
I also like that Liesl went and talked to Jason too.
Yes, I told you, everybody talking to Jason. Jason was to talk to you, and it's not. He always had that look. Okay, just has that look, just like okay, you don't say nothing.
It is interesting. Like Jason says very little to anybody other than Carly,
right,
or Sonny. Like otherwise, he keeps it on the DL. Which there's something like, all right, I am here just to take the information, and we'll do with it what I will.
Oh, you said. So Frank made he didn't mean it. He said you said that she was killed. They want to make sure that okay. So he probably said it just by accident, but he knows she's not killed.
Who, Hayden? No.
Yeah. As a PI Kelly thinks she said she was killed. She's stuck on it right now for some reason. She's not killed. We know she's not killed. Everybody knows she's not killed. She's fine. Okay. Yeah, this whole thing with me and Peter, I'm just not a fan. Daisy's like, Peter will be back for Halloween. Oh God. But Liz had that little moment where she thought she saw him. So I'm like, they're gonna do something macabre like, because he's Faison's son. They're gonna do something. They're gonna do something. I guess. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just like, don't freeze him and bring him back. Please don't. That's a cast iron thing. So I mean, I don't. It's He's not gonna be in that freezer or whatever. He's not gonna be there.
But I think it does make sense if he comes back for a last hurrah to kind of give Valentine and Anna more of a focus on that closure.
That's what I think too. And no doubt Valentine and Anna are out to look for him. You know, that's the whole point. Look for him. So we'll see. Anna was closer than she thought. She had no idea. Obviously, a week before, she had no idea. But I'm ready for Story to be over so bad. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I mean, what I did like about going back to that Liesl and Jason scene is great nod to like, I can understand why you would hate me for what I had to do with Robin.
Yes.
But that you still gave me a call when Britta needed somebody. Yeah,
that scene was so wonderful. It was such a great scene. Kathleen Gotti, our buddy, just did a great job as always. I think there were a lot of moving. Peter was the unifier. That's what we're finding out. That was him and Cyrus both were like unifiers. Like they were the bad people that did all kinds of things to everybody. So then other folks who normally wouldn't get together or like each other were forced to kind of go, well, good job what you did, good job what you did. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I like that because it's not, nothing's just black or white. So I kind of like that there's shades of gray in there and all these nefarious characters. A lot of them are really bad people when you think about it, or do bad things. But they're all for different reasons. So I kind of like that they're having to deal with each other. They have to. I mean, and Peter and Cyrus are both these two guys that made everyone come together. They wreaked havoc on everybody. I mean, I love umbrella stories. I love umbrella stories, and I think these both were great umbrella stories in terms of how they reached out to everybody. I mean, even to people like Brooklyn and Chase. That whole, it reached out to everybody. So now Valentine was like, Anna, you're not going alone. I'm coming with you. If he feels a sense of duty also, that makes sense. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. So now they're off to go, all of it makes sense to me. So it's kind of like, okay, I got it. But it's all really for naught because Liz thinks, I got Peter, so you guys are all looking. That's what she told Jason. I want everybody to stop looking because it's not really the point. But like people like poor Maxie doesn't know. It's like, so it's a far-reaching thing. It's like she doesn't even know.
So I mean, it definitely is a way to get rid of Peter yet keep those other parts of the storyline still running.
Right.
But Maxie, zero chill in this storyline. Like even though it was her idea,
I know.
I mean, I guess it's the thing where like you don't realize how hard it's going to be until you're in it. It seems easy at first, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Hold that baby. Everything. I was like, oh, Brooklyn. But her and Brooklyn, they're actually becoming something. That's like she's like, no, girl, I'm gonna help. You can't do it. We gotta handle this a certain way because they'll get suspicious because they both think Peter's still out there. They have to add. So essentially, for us as audience, we have to remember they think Peter is still on the loose.
Yeah.
So they have to take all the precautions. Even though we know he could be on the loose somewhere. Which he could be on the loose. He could come back and get Max in the baby. Who knows? But she was right. If you keep going to the house, he's going to deduce you're here and the baby's here. You know.
And I even liked her saying, like, I'll go out and tell Valentine right now what the deal is.
Okay.
Stairs, you know? Yep. So.
Because Valentine will be pissed. He'll be sad, but he'll protect the baby still because of Peter. Because he feels about Peter. He said it to the baby, it's my fault. It's my fault this all went down. That's what this whole thing thinks. Yeah. So I think when Tammy Gomez in the chat room. Yeah, when Brooklyn is the voice of reason, you know it's all messed up. Exactly. Brooklyn has matured a lot. Brooklyn has matured. Well, she still has her things, but she's matured some. I
mean, it's still, I would agree in some respects, but in the aspect of this whole initial idea of faking a pregnancy to get back the stocks seemed like such an awful, terrible on every aspect.
That's Quartermain like. They do shit like that. They can't help themselves. The Quartermains do all kind of stuff. That's why I think it's the Quartermain in her. The impulsiveness.
I guess, but it seemed like her and Valentine left on a very kind of like a pleasant understanding between the two of them. And to them to come back and say, all right, I'm going to fake a pregnancy and get everything back. Like, whoa, what's up with this?
Well, now they're friendly again.
Well, certainly, but I think it's going to be one of those things like the longer, like if you were to tell Valentine right now, just like you said, he'd be mad, but he would still do it. I feel like he's only going to get madder, and the
of
the Peter thing is going to not hold as much water the longer that this goes on.
That's true. Now, Sam, your buddy, and Dante, your other buddy, are bugging the crap out of me. I'm like, they're treating Maxie like a suspect.
Yeah.
So they're coming after her, and she's like, yes. I mean, it's one of those things you're like, okay, you guys. And if she really did lose this child, you should be a little more sensitive to her. But that's just my take on that. They're not good friends at all. They're not good friends. To me, they're not good friends at all. Some folks say the storyline is cruel, which I think I understand. I understand where you're coming from. It is, but to me, I get where Max is coming from. I do what I got to do to save my baby. I totally get it. I mean, it's an extraordinary circumstance, but when you have a child and you're like, I got to save my child from this. He's an egomaniac. Peter is not a good person. Yeah. Peter is not. He's a dangerous person. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
And I was curious to see. I thought if they were going to keep Peter gone for good, that the nurse would be the one that was going to pop back up to kind of throw a wrench into everything.
She did.
Nope, she gone. She gone.
They said she did. They pulled her out. She did.
See you later.
They found the phone. Those other numbers. That burner phone. You know what that number's to do? It's in Brooklyn. Dante's on the case. On the case, Frank. On the case. Mm-hmm.
I just don't need Sam anywhere at all around any of this.
God, they've just ruined her character. When I see her on screen, I was like, ugh.
And I will say I am very excited for if everything is true, that Cameron Matheson is coming back as Drew. And it seems like all signs are pointing to that, which is fantastic. I'm genuinely excited about that. But in no way am I excited by any sort of Sam-Drew interaction at all. Like, no. That they
have a daughter together.
Great, but I mean, so do Jason and Sam have a sibling, have a son together. So, I'm fine with they're kind of on the outs. Let's just keep it like that with Drew and Sam. I don't need anything on that road.
I've heard several things. I heard possible Drew, possible a new character, one of the Novaks, that crime family they were talking about right now. I've heard that. So we'll see. I heard Stephen Lars, Elizabeth's brother. I've heard several. I heard those kind of three names bandied about.
Like the Stephen Lars, is that a character you've missed and need to see back?
But he's another man who could he hook up with? Yeah, they have a lot of women, so it could be him and like Portia get together, like Ella Purse somewhere else. It could be. I guess they could move him. I guess he's that age group. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of women out there actually on the show, so maybe they could
Well,
Jordan.
true. I mean,
Cream.
Jordan's got to move on as well.
Right. So I'm thinking if Portia and Curtis get together, I don't see Taggart and Jordan getting together. I just don't see it.
I just feel like they have not invested enough. They've invested more into Portia to build her up as a character.
Right.
I mean, Taggart, I mean, I guess, you can right now, you can have him on less frequently and just rely on history to fill in. But they haven't done enough with him present day to make me think like, oh, yeah, he's somebody that can be sticking around to be a long-term possibility for Jordan.
Oh, and also they mentioned Carly, saying this guy could be with Carly.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be a little while before anything could really happen between Carly and somebody else.
Possibly.
I mean, the same thing like I feel about well, I mean, they're really pushing the Liz and Finn thing. The tender hand on the
oh jeez. I'm like, you're trying to save a life.
Even Liz's friend there at the hospital was like, what's going on with you and Finn, huh? I mean, geez, Franco's been dead for like 6 months. What's you moving? Let's move on. Let's get to it.
I know on soaps, I say this every single time, but I know on soaps timelines are very different. And I get that it's not the same as what we go through, that they have to go faster. I heard they have to go faster. But it's still jarring to me because she was in love with Franco for so long.
Yeah.
But it's really weird, but they don't want them alone. They don't want them alone. So hold up. Franco dies and Heather Weber or anyone in his family reached out. I don't think they didn't go that direction.
No, nobody's who knows how Heather feels about any of this.
I know, because that was her boy. They didn't reach out to Robin Matson. They didn't bring her back on, so they didn't do that. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a while since we've had Heather on the show, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I can't because boy, her visits could go okay, or they could go really all right.
Yes. Nina.
I like that Nina finally clues into like, oh, wait a minute. If Michael now finds out that I knew about Sonny for all this time, I could lose Wiley. That never dawned on you at all? No, just now. Okay. And it's and in that moment, not saying, all right, let me come clean right now and own up to it and see if I can salvage any of this. I'll still keep quiet and just, we'll figure something out later.
Okay. Like you said, Nina should have went full throttle evil about it and not this kind of wafy, wish-washy. She just been like, take that, Carly. I'm with your man. Ha ha, that guy. She just went straight for it. But she went, that's when she's playing the mealy mouth. It's kind of like, and I don't know what I'm doing. She's talking to dead, I was going to say Chloe, still alive. Dead Mel. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. It's gotten out of hand. I'm like,
you do know what you're doing, Nina, and it's nothing good. It's nothing. It's just like every day you woke up and said, I'm not going to tell anybody back in Port Charles that Sonny's alive. I was doing something terrible.
Well, Wiley knows.
Oh, that's right. And that sauce, that jar of sauce is out there.
That jar of sauce, Frank. I still want it. My pasta. I still want it. I do. I want that sauce. I heard it's good. That's everything.
The conversation between Nina and Michael as they're kind of breaking down, what Nell means to Wiley and how that is told to Wiley as he grows up. But for Nina to say, like, I just want the chance to be able to tell him at some point, who Nina could have been. Like, what? You don't even know that. You barely even knew Nina, and then you find out that was a daughter. I mean, so you don't really know anything at all.
That's all I gotta say about that storyline.
Yeah.
But what it does do, it leads us to the other storyline I hate. I'm gonna go tell him. I'm gonna go over there right now. I wish we could do it together. No, it's fine. I'll handle it. Cut to, what's wrong, Chase? We can't feel my legs. And you could hear her mind go, I can't tell you anything.
That, I mean, you knew, I was waiting to see what excuse there would be for not being able to tell Chase what the real deal is. And I, in no way, think that this is reason enough to not tell him. Not at all. This is ridiculous that you would just like, well, I can't tell him now. I mean, he's trying to walk for me. Well, great that for you, yes, but he's also just trying to walk to be able to be a cop still, to be able to just live his life. Yes, he loves you, and yes, he wants to walk for your wedding, but there are plenty of other reasons he would like to walk again. So, slow your roll there.
Tammy says his legs were moving. Did anyone catch that? I didn't catch it. Was his leg moving? I didn't catch it.
No, things moving. The only thing I did notice was Liz talking to Franco at the cemetery and kneeling down and bumping the headstone and it moving. I noticed that. That's things I noticed moving this week.
Oops. And we'll get to that in a second. The whole part of it, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so apparently his legs is still out. His hands working. And so that obviously, Frank, that's complications.
But honestly, James, do you really think that is worth that is a high enough stakes as to why Chase can't know the truth?
No, of course not. I'm waiting for the storyline to be over. You know, somebody, I'm like, I'd say, you know what? We thought you were dying. I want to give you your last dying wish.
Yes,
I love you. I do love. We both love. Me and Michael love you on some level. Obviously, did this for you, but I'm not. I mean, but now you're alive. I'm not in love with you.
Yeah, I mean, much again, like Tammy was saying earlier, when Brooklyn is the voice of reason in this, you got to be worried, and she was when she was telling Chase and Michael, get it together, and you got to tell Willow and Michael, you got to tell Chase what the deal is.
Right. You just got to do it. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off. It's not going to be good. You know, Chase has other options. You got Brooklyn. You got other options you can go to.
Yeah, I mean, I really have zero interest in watching any of this for the next. I'm guessing like month to 6 weeks of Chase going through rehab, the wedding being set up. I mean, is it like on the very wedding day that finally Willow comes to Chase? I can't do this, Chase. I love Michael. Like, why are we unnecessarily building this up? It's I'm not.
I agree, Frank. I agree. I don't know, but that's where they're going. It looks like.
It's just. I would, as much as like you, I want the storyline to be done and these characters to move on and do something else. But if you're going to, for whatever reason, try to prolong this story, I feel like it needs to be better than, my legs aren't working right now. And yeah, if you told me, boy, you know, I probably would just give up on ever trying to walk again.
Well, I heard a rumor, Frank.
Lay it on me.
I don't know this. That he's faking it.
What?
I heard that rumor. I can't confirm that or anything. I heard a rumor that he gets wind. He catches on. He's a detective, so he catches some looks between those two. So he's sort of faking a little while to keep her with him.
Oh, so right now it is genuine, but at some point he feels okay. That's great.
That's what I'm hearing. Great. I don't know.
Yeah. Boy. Until then it plays out like that one scene where there's something that's so dramatic that happens that even.
It's up.
Yep. It's like, you can walk. I've been able to walk for months.
I know, Frank. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But they did have a nice moment where Gregory tells him he's his father, which I'm so happy.
That scene bugged me tremendously. Not the action scene, the lead up to that, where it is where Finn is talking to Jackie and Greg. Said, well, what can we tell Chase? Like, you can tell him right now. Right. And then it gets to Finn and Gregory in there, and Finn can't say anything. Like, what do you mean you can't? You just said it was fine, and then you walked off. That I felt those two scenes put together drove me crazy.
I see that.
It's like, I don't know why there needed to be that obstacle. Like, you wasted so much time, so much screen time with Chase, like asking Finn so many times, like, well, why did it work this time? Why were we wasting scene time on that? Well, we could have spent that scene time on the revelation and, you know, talking about just the new family dynamic and what these people mean to each other. So much time could have been served towards that, which I think would have been helpful or more enjoyable to watch than just this unnecessary, like, well, why can't you tell me what's going on? Those things, that just killed me.
Yes. But the scene, again, I'll go back to the scene that I did like was when Gregory was telling him. I mean, it's like more Gregory Harrison, please. I mean, it's like he can act, folks.
Yeah.
And it was great. I thought it was a nice scene, quiet scene. I'm just glad they rectified that. I did not like Finn as his father. I'm glad he's the older brother. To me, they reversed it. I'm good. I'm good. That's fine.
And for me, I'm really curious about what that means for Jackie and
Right.
Gregory in
Right.
Port Charles. Are they
Right.
done? I mean, I don't mind having them around. I mean, they would need more reasons to be here, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a disservice to those characters or those actors. Just, I mean, but then again, there's so many great people. You
Right.
know, often it's
Yeah.
Justin Rogers getting scene time, and I'm or Mac. So,
I know.
but I mean, I feel like Jackie's another character that was mishandled for whatever reasons, and I feel
Yeah.
like it probably had to do with changes behind the scenes in the storyline.
Yeah.
But I feel like it her being a reporter, the superstar reporter that everybody was like, whoa, Jackie Templeton, never really amounted to anything other than the interview with Sasha.
Well, we're talking Gregory Harrison. I mean, a star of primetime TV shows in the 80s. I mean, like he was like, hello. I mean, there's possibilities for both of them. They can put them into storyline if they want to. They mentioned Gregory teach at PCU, was true, but also, I mean, everybody wants Gregory. Everybody wants Gregory. There's room for him. You just gotta make use of them. I think him and Monica could date. You date Monica.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him with. I mean, he could go with Nina after Nina is like everybody. She becomes the town pariah. Gregory, doesn't have any history with her, so could easily strike up a relationship.
I know. Jackie had a little flirtation with Scorpio, so I mean, with Robert. So I mean, they're old friends.
I mean, you pick up something with Gregory and Anna. Even, I mean, I'd rather see Anna with Valentine, but
me too. But there's room for them. It's got to, again, as you and I always say, you got to write for them and show them. You and I come up with all kind of storylines for them, but it's up to them to see if they could make that happen. Last two big kind of storylines. Jason and Britt and Carly. I say it all the time, Jason and Britt and Carly. Carly was given so much side eye and then googie eyes and like, oh my God, he's moving on to somebody else. Like she is so jealous. It's not even funny. She is so jealous.
It seems like to me, like every maybe 6 months, maybe it's a little longer, that there needs to be that Jason Carly scene where they have to reestablish how they feel about each other. Like we all know it, but for some reason, and I don't know why Carly feels so insecure about it, but she constantly needs to be reassured that they are just as tight as they've ever been. Because I feel like those scenes get so repetitive. Like I know what you're going to say, and I don't know why. Carly, what does that say to you that you've known this person for so long, and every 6 months, 8 months, you need to have that revalidated to you?
Carly says, not Carly, Tammy Govea says, Carly is missing Sunny though. She's extra Carly right now. I guess. I think I'm with Frank. I just feel like it's always her MO. All these men go after Carly, it's okay. But when the women go after Jason, it's not okay. It's always that case. She's never liked any of the women. She's gotten used to Sam and grew to like her on some level. She hates Robin. She's not a fan of Elizabeth. I mean, she's always been a person who does not like these chicks. They get close. And her and Britt they never had scenes before. They never did anything together. And so she said, I don't even know her. You don't know her. And now she's in.
It's interesting because like even if you did know her, odds are you would not like her.
Right.
You don't like anybody, like you were saying, James. So I mean, maybe it's just Carly like thinking that Jason has any aspect of his life that Carly is not intimately involved in.
Yes, I know. But I will say this: I did enjoy the quiet, understated performance at the gravesite with Carly and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It was a nice change. You know, Elizabeth, she apologized for not believing in Jason. But they had a good day. They both talked about they're missing their men. Like literally, there was no judgments. There was no like, whatever. It's just they both were just like really sitting there. talking about their men, just the everyday stuff.
Yeah, and I certainly, there's not many people in Port Charles that are fans of Franco, but at one time Carly was, you
She
know,
was, yeah,
and so you may not think much of him right now, but
right,
at a time there was a part of your life that you were gonna marry this guy, so
right,
what it's like from Elizabeth's perspective.
right, exactly. So that was really nice. I did enjoy the whole boxing thing with Carly, with Britt and Jason. I thought, Britt feel like she wants to get a new lease on life. And I'm just ready. I'm ready to get out there and tackle the world. And Jason was amused by her. I thought this is the first time I've seen Steve Burton actually look like he was having fun in a long time. Like he's actually not paired with homegirl, but he's having a good time with Britt. I think Kelly Tebow is probably giving him just a whole new vibe. I just felt like it was. Tego Vance says, but Britt's reply to Carly, going forward, just tell me what you want me here. Oh, going forward, just tell me you don't want me here instead of talking around me. And she walked off. Yeah, she did say that. And when she turned to Jason and goes, I'll let you know, or something, she says something to him. And Carly's like, oh, really? I was like,
I do think Carly's entrance to that whole scene was so weird. Jason, we need to talk about the Novak situation. And then it's quiet. I can't say anything else around you. Like, way to go, Carly. You
right.
Yeah.
But I like Jason and Brett. I like it.
I do.
Brett makes me laugh. I like it. I do. I like it. I'm in. I like it.
I mean, it's
unexpected.
The whole aspect of Jason Morgan. Yes, he's not Jason Coordinate Man anymore, and yes, he doesn't have access to all those memories, but and he wasn't in touch with all his emotions at first. But I mean, it's been a long time, and so it's great to see him, interacting with somebody and it just being a little bit more light and a little bit more playful. And I'm down for that. Yeah,
I mean, I like it a lot, and I just think it's playful. That's the right word for it. I'm really liking it.
What I was curious about that scene though is that Britt was all about, if Carly had not interrupted, Britt was all about this going to the, like, hey, let's get her freak on.
She's all going in, and I was like, oh, gotta stop.
I mean, one, they may as well have done it in the boxing ring because nobody goes to that gym anyway.
No,
so they could have just done it right there and it would have been fine. But realizing that, oh wait, Britt needed to be at this meeting, like she was ready just to, like, I don't care, and just go. So to see her just kind of scoot into this board meeting, I was like, oh yeah, all right, okay, Britt.
Yes, which that's my lead. That's the next thing. The last thing I want to bring up is the board meeting. Everybody's in there. All the players are in there. We got Finn, and what you mentioned earlier, Terry's back, and Terry's like, so what's going on between you and Finn? Like, they're just good girlfriends. It's like she lost her husband like not so long ago. Okay. Everybody's just kind of sitting. Various people we never seen before in our lives were there. Some under fives, some A players, but it was a full house, and some chick, wherever she is, tells everybody the deal.
Yes.
And they reinstated Monica Quartermain as chairman of the board. So,
which is great, for sure. Love that.
Yes.
It's weird, like, because when Laura comes in earlier and Portia's asking her, do you know anything? Like, Laura was so, like, cryptic about it. Like, and it seemed like it was going to be bad news the way that scene played out. Like, oh, there's going to be some changes. Like, why are we acting like this? To when that Monica does get announced, we cut to Laura, and she's like,
yes.
Why did we do the unnecessary, like, oh, I don't know, change is coming?
I know. And so in effect, Bobby and Epiphany are reinstated. Epiphany is on some island somewhere apparently, so having a vacation.
She's getting a new start with Sans Milo.
I know Sans Milo, I know. But then we had a little development where Britt walks up. She's like, okay, I guess I'm out. And Monica's like, not necessarily.
That seemed, I mean, a conversation that needed to happen because, yes, it was a glaring thing that was not mentioned at all in there.
Yes.
But I also thought, is this the right time to have the conversation with Monica, or is that more of a one-on-one?
No, she was like, I think she figured she was out. I think she was just like, just to get out in the open. That's what it was like. She was like, because, for her, it's like she said, I just followed orders from Cyrus. I was brought in. And it's like, well, I'm going to think about what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden, Terry's like, I want my hand in the ring for chief of staff. Oh, okay. So are we getting a story with Terry now?
I would be absolutely down for that. if Terry had been at all a character we had invested in.
Right.
You know, like there's no stakes to the storyline. It's just like, here's somebody that we kind of know that's been around on a few episodes that we can use to kind of drive, create a few story beats of
Right.
Britt. Like, will Britt be chief of staff or not?
Right.
But ultimately, I think Britt keeps it and Terry doesn't get it. And then we go back to never really seeing Terry much at all.
That's how I feel too. And this is a thing that Frank and I talk about. We understand that there is large casts. Casts have guarantees where they have to be on certain times a week and all that stuff. But it's hard when you're a watcher like we are and like you guys are out there to get invested in certain things. Like, I'll say, throw something in. You're like, oh, okay, throw it in. But we've seen her 3 times in the last year and a half. I mean, like, I don't, it'd be interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, but I know it's not going to really go anywhere. And yes, it'll be great to see her for the few episodes we get out of this. It's great to have that character around, but I don't, it would be much more fun to watch if I thought there were real stakes to the storyline and not just, an artificial kind of like, suspense generated.
Right. I know. I just, sure. You want to do it? Sure.
I mean, you might as well have, why isn't Lucas there throwing his hat in the ring as well, too? I mean, you really
why
must have
wasn't Lucas there? And why wasn't Lucas there? He's a doctor on call there. So, like, there was no Felix. I mean, it's just like, no department heads are department heads. So maybe Lucas is not a department head. Maybe that's why he wasn't there.
I guess not. But, I mean, if we're going to really do this, then let's have several people throw their hat in the ring and let's really make it something. I mean, I'd rather, let's have Lucas and Terry get more screen time. I mean,
Marlon Wallace brings up something that I know. I'm just going to briefly just mention to myself. I know it's Pride Month, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and none of the gay characters were featured on any of the shows, basically, on none of the soaps. So that's the state we're in right now. I don't know what that means. That's just the state. I know some folks are brought up in here. I don't know why. I don't work at General Hospital or Days of Our Lives or Bold and Beautiful, Young and the Restless. I have no idea. I have no idea. So
no,
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean the show. I mean, they of course the show is in real time, much ahead of us in the production cycle than we are as viewers.
Right.
But I mean, this has been going on for in perpetuity, so they should have an idea of they can write to the nurses' ball to always be in May.
Right,
so,
right, no, right.
Other than last year with the pandemic.
Yeah.
So you can write story to land during a time of the year that you need it to.
Right. So I'm saying, folks, I just don't know. I have no answer. So I have no idea. But I understand what you guys mean. I get it. It's like you should have something happen or something, but they just doesn't she just have to be a doctor? Yeah, and Terry's a doctor.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean she's a doctor. She's an OBGYN. She's OBGYN, right? Yeah. Yeah, she's a doctor.
No, isn't she an oncologist? Because when she was working with
oncologist. Well, she's a doctor. She's a doctor.
I'm really well versed in my medical terms. Like,
I know. I was like, I don't know. She's an OBGYN or an oncologist. I mean, 2 very different things. But whatever. I was like, whatever. I used to be a nurse in real life. I don't know. Yeah, they do know. They shoot in advance. So exactly. So like that's what Frank was saying. They shoot in advance. They could do it. They say the reason why I have no idea. I don't have. I wish they do more, but I don't. I got black folks on TV, so I'm happy about that right now. We need more Asian. We need more everything on there. So
no, and it's a shame that we don't have any. I mean, with Lucas and Brad sidelined,
right?
I mean, there's really, Terry popping in every so often. There really is no representation as front burner characters.
Nope, none,
and that's unfortunate. I mean,
it is. I mean, this is none. So yeah, Bristol. Yeah, I got it wrong. I knew something with an O. It's fine. But yes, but she's a doctor. Either way, she's a doctor. So
I mean, we also lamented for the longest time too, as well, the lack of black representation at all.
And now we got it.
And we've gotten better with that. There's always room for improvement. But it's like, I don't think it shouldn't have to be focusing on one thing at the expense of everything. I think you can start building everything up.
Yeah, I agree. Someone says Brad is back this week. That's right. He is coming back. But again, it's probably for a pop-in.
Yeah, he'll be hanging out with Britt for a hot second, and then gone.
Yeah, because Christina's not around. I mean, I don't know where she is. So, I mean, she's there somewhere doing something. I don't know. They got rid of that set. That set, that's Charlie's set is gone, apparently. I don't know where that is. They haven't shown that in a while. So, they moved on. They moved sets around. I mean, and I get also trying to cut costs and stuff. I get all that. It's just it's tough. It's tough. They get us involved and invested in certain people. Then they take them away, and you're like, well, what do you do with that? So I totally get it. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. I think the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah, again, yeah, I mean, in a world where there are more viewers and they can have a bigger budget and they can afford to do more things,
yeah, so it's no problem.
Yeah.
So, folks, that was your week. That was and Port Charles. Next weekend, I hope to be drinking those bottles of booze and eating barbecue. So we'll not be here next weekend. I don't know what Frank's going to do that day on 4th of July. I don't know what he's doing that weekend.
I'll be right here waiting for you guys.
Sitting in front of the screen, waiting for it to turn on.
There you go.
Sorry,
just
Frank.
Sparklers in my hands. I'll be dyeing this terrible beard of mine white for Uncle Sam.
Oh, me too. I should have done too. Yeah, we'll be back July 11th. That's when we'll be back. All the stuff's will be back. I heard Christian Days. None of us will be on next weekend. We're taking time off. Yes, my shirt. It's okay, guacamole. I'm extra too.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's geared to me on Father's Day. So that's what I was thinking. Thank you. But yes, everybody, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. But thank you so much for making this show my number one show on the network. It really is the number one show on my network. They're all poor Frank. Frank will be all fine. Frank will be fine. She'll be fine. Don't worry about Frank.
I mean, because James, we're delivering this hot, scintillating talk. Understandably, that's why we're number one. Folks. I'm not wearing I don't have a ponytail. It's okay.
No ponytail. No ponytail. I got hair too. No ponytail. I love it. I love your hair. Thanks, folks. Nothing's happening. We'll both be back. We're fine. Lucretia may join us. Who knows? So she's not too drunk. She'll be with us.
But follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Happy Go Jackie, folks.
Yes, and you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. And James Media Supplies is on Facebook. Thank you to all the Facebook groups. Let me share this on their pages. Special mention to GH Canada and General Hospital Fanatics. And then we're also JLJ Media everywhere too. So follow all the stuff that we have going on there. But everybody, take care of yourselves. Be careful. Terry Govea, we love you. Thanks everybody that was in there, which was in here.
And one little bonus thing, it's like the after credits here. I forgot we didn't even name check the great special effects explosion at the end of Thursday.
Oh yeah, at the very end. It was the great special effects. But yeah, I forgot. Yes, the warehouse exploded. But it was like, what footage is that? I'm like, well.
It was a scene like that. The way it was set, like the skyline of Port Charles, so close to the docks, and this ratty old warehouse that's blowing up. I'm like, man, this city it's so close. From like beautiful structures to just kind of run down warehouses.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of weird. So I just want to see the follow on that too. Yes. Maybe some better screen stuff. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Everybody take care of yourselves. Don't